Hello world, and welcome to another episode of Humans have been harnessing the power of yeast for thousands of years. These fungi allow fermentations, the molecules process whereby living cells typically transform sugar or starch into more complex molecules or chemicals. Discovered 10,000 years ago, the technology of liquid fermentation, from mead to beer to spirits, and solid state fermentation, beer and cheese, helped put humanity on a rapidly accelerating path to evolution and advancement. Since that revolution insight occurred, science has been devoted to understanding, cultivating, and ultimately reprogramming single-cell organisms such as yeast, bacteria, and algae. And we've been using the process to make more life-saving drugs, bio-based fuels such as corn, ethanol, fragrances, and growing suite of small biological molecules. Liquid fermentation is now about a $150 billion industry and growing rapidly. Many other products we use today are moving from chemical factories to biological fermenters. But cells can do much more than produce compounds. Plants, animals, and fungi all make molecules and assemble them into large structures. We can see this in our own bodies. Our cells build bones, skins, and organs, including human brains, the most powerful computer on Earth. It's the combination of making small molecules and assembling them into structures that give natural technology its miraculous properties. This is what enables a plant to capture a photon from the sun and generate a berry or apple. Gobsmackingly precise and intricate combinations of materials. Our own attempts to emulate nature's structure building capacity has thus far depended on 20th century technologies such as extrusion and heat extractions process that brutalize small molecules to create crude polymerized structures. Ultimately, through these processes, we end up with products that are far more interior to nature's originals. Pleather versus leather, particle boards versus wood, and synthetic textiles, to name a few. Without nature's capacity for microassembly, the best properties of nature or natural materials are lost. Mycelium is kind of like yeast. Both are fungi. Both, unlike most yeast cells, which grow as a single cell, mycelium is a multicellular and can grow into macro-sized structures, which we most often recognize as mushrooms. Not only does mycelium produce small molecules, but it gently and with supreme precision assembles them into complex structures so small that they are visible or they are invisible to the human eye. Working much like a single-cell yeast, mycelium takes a small molecules of food, typically sugar, but often from sources such as wood or plant waste, by excreting enzymes that break these materials down into digestible morsels. As the mycelium grows, it assembles a dense network of long microscopic fibers that grow through the substrate like a superhighway system. Once the mycelium has fully built this network, it transitions to the next stage, building a mushroom. This is where humans can intervene. Rather than letting a mushroom pop out of its substrate, the mycelium can be coaxed to build predictable structures by controlling temperature, CO2, humidity, and airflow to influence the growth of tissue. This is a rapid process. The accumulation of fibers become a visible speck after a few hours, a visible sheet after a day or two, and an 18 by 2 by 12 inch sheet weighing a couple of pounds within a course of a week. Directing the growth of mushroom fibers may not sound like a big deal, but this evolution is biofabrication stands to transform the way we manufacture, consume, and live. What are the possibilities? Mycelium, fast growing fibers produce materials used for packaging, clothing, food, and construction. Everything from leather to plant based steak to scaffolding for growing organs. Mycelium, when harnessed as a technology, helps replace plastic that are rapidly accumulating in the environment. Mycelium also provides a cruelty-free way to create meat-like structures with a much smaller footprint than traditional livestock, reducing greenhouse gases, the use of food crops for feed, and land for conversions. All the benefits come with a little environmental cost. The process of growing mycelium results in limited waste, mostly compostable, and requires minimum energy for consumption. This is not hypothetical. The technology for using mycelium to assemble these things or the things that we need at a scale already exists. Mushroom packaging is on the market as a replaceable for styrofoam and is available in both US and Europe. Meanwhile, research on mycelium is accelerating as groups around the world, including leading academic institutions, are beginning to build programs around mycelium materials. For example, mycelium based self repairing structures just add water and watch them grow. That is response by synthesizing antidotes when exposed to toxins are currently being developed by DARPA. Humankind needs to find ways to get ourselves out of this mess we're created. Our world is an ecosystem maintained by self-assembling organisms. Now we have taken them to Him. We must use these organisms to steer, repair, and rebuild our stressed yet faithful celestial transport. Biological technology is the most powerful technology we have access to, and with the proper harnessing, we can use it to live in harmony on spaceship Earth. So, what do you all think about this article? I have more articles that's pertaining to mycelium, and this is something that is taking over. Do you have any opinions on this? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment and subscribe and like. You all stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.